There are three obligatory texts for readers interested in classical Japanese literature written during the Heian period. The major one, and the most intimidating, is Genji Monogatari, The Tale of Genji, by Murasaki Shikibu, which may be the first novel ever written. Less known, as delightful as it is underrated, is Ise Monogatari, Tales of Ise, often attributed to the poet Ariwara no Narihira. Finally, there's Makura no Soshi, the Pillow Book, which continues to attract more and more readers. Like the Tale of Genji, Sei Shonagon's text is concerned with the courtly life. Like Tales of Ise, it combines prose and poetry, and explores romantic relationships between men and women. Of the three books, however, the Pillow Book is the most creative, in the sense that it follows a free, almost whimsical structure. Sei Shonagon was a court lady at the service of Empress Teishi, who one day gave her a huge pile of paper to write on. Sei filled the sheets of paper with anecdotes, poems, lists, impressions, gossip, and, as she put it, all manner of odd things. To describe the Pillow Book as a journal would be simplistic, but in a way, that is what the book is. The author originally wrote it only for herself. She says, "I never intended this book to be seen by others, so I've written whatever came into my mind, without worrying about whether people would find it strange or unpleasant." And in another section, "No doubt there is much in these pages that makes no sense." Even during Sei's lifetime, however, the book found its way out into the world. While this upset the author, we readers must be thankful to whoever it was that made the book circulate. The title of the text is a mystery. Scholars do not agree on what is meant by a pillow book, though I like the simple and probably erroneous idea that this is a notebook that the author kept under or close to her pillow as something treasured. The variety of the contents is what makes the Pillow Book a fascinating read. Stories about life in the court are interspersed with poems exchanged with other people in the court, romantic tales, descriptions of all sorts of living things, cats, dogs, insects, birds, such as the beloved Hototogisu, and lists of infuriating things, things that make one cheerful, dispiriting things, things that make one's heart beat faster, etc. One gets the feeling that anything goes in the Pillow Book. As I read the book, I kept thinking about social media platforms, where one can post all sorts of things. How one is feeling at a specific moment, a famous quote, a poem, a recent incident and its interpretation, all types of pictures, and much more. To affirm that Sei would have been a social media enthusiast had she lived in our time would be too much. As she herself indicates, she did not like to expose herself. There is nevertheless something of the structure and of the personal nature of social media in the Pillow Book. Sei herself, who is an excellent poet, comes across as sensitive, insightful, and even hilarious. She is concerned for the most part with the beauty of things, a beauty that does not fade. After all, she observes, the cherry blossom blooms every year. But does anyone find it the less lovely for that? The Hototogisu, which sings in the dark, leads her to the following meditation. Everything that cries in the night is wonderful. With the exception, of course, of babies. She has her own opinions, which need no qualification. For instance, cats should be completely black, except for the belly, which should be very white. She loves gossip, and even writes an apology of it. How can you not discuss other people? Apart from your own concerns, what can be more beguiling to talk about and criticize than other people? And she can be fussy, too, about the most unexpected things, such as charcoal. What really annoys me is when someone pushes aside all the pieces that are still glowing, makes a fresh mound of charcoal, and relights it at the top of the mound. Since the Pillow Book was intended as a personal record, it conveys a total image of the woman who wrote it, with both her virtues and her defects. A recurring theme, for instance, is Say's insecurity when it comes to poetry. The descendant of poets, Say was as self-critical as she was admired by others for her work. Encountering the Pillow Book may also be a liberating experience for a writer. I have been keeping a journal for a few years now, and all sorts of different things go into it, including poems and ideas for short stories and novels. Without knowing it, I had been imitating Say Shonagon for many years. I don't believe all writers should write every day, but keeping one's own pillow book is an excellent incentive to write regularly. And the best thing about this type of writing is that it is meant only for the writer's eyes. One is truly writing for oneself, which allows for more freedom, as one is less worried about established rules, structures, conventions, and criticism. If, like Say Shonagon, I made a list of things that give me pleasure, I would surely include the Pillow Book among them. A word of warning, though. This is not a book to read in one sitting. For best results, I would recommend keeping the book on one's night table, close to one's pillow, and reading a little bit at a time.